Some car manufacturers, their EV sales are really growing and they're doing really, really well. In fact, crazy enough, Fisker is one of them. Even though they're bankrupt, their EV sales just skyrocketing. Tesla, they're doing well. Ford, actually quite well. But the Volkswagen Group and Mercedes-Benz have had a shocking few months in the US. Their EV sales are declining, by up to 51%. New data has just emerged showing that US electric car sales have in fact grown versus last year. We have data now for July. I know it's a while, but July data shows that actually, contrary to the US media telling us the story that EV sales have gone down, they in fact have increased. Here are the numbers. Here are the percentage of EVs that were sold that were Teslas and not Teslas. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. Great to have you with us. I want to say a big thank you to our Patreon supporters, YouTube members. If you'd like to be a YouTube member or support us on Patreon, I'll put a link in the description below. And also, there's a link to the company that installed my solar system. I had my best day ever here. Today, my solar output was 124 kilowatt hours for the whole day. So that'd be enough to charge like 2 BYD Atto 3s if the battery was at 0. It's pretty good, right? That was my best day. We're not in summer yet, by the way. It's just the start of spring here in Australia. So I'm hoping that the numbers can increase. Anyway, if you want to use this solar company, I highly recommend them. I'll put a link in the description. Sales of EVs in the US they've grown this year, but not by a lot. But sales in July reveal a significant spike that allowed Tesla to snap a 5-month streak of, basically a 5-month losing streak. Other brands, as well as Tesla, also showed growth. S&P Mobility revealed that new EV registrations actually increased by 18% in July. That's a pretty significant number. A total of 118,273 new EVs were registered that month compared to 100,620, while additional 18,000 electric cars were sold in July. That's, I think, a pretty good increase. That means the share of the market, or market share of EVs, went from 7.6% to 8.5%. Now, I just can't help but think here. Let's fast forward a couple of years into the future. General Motors, Ford, and Tesla, who have all said they want to do this and will be doing it, are all manufacturing the new CATL Shenzhen Plus battery, or one of CATL's new LFP batteries. All of them have an energy density. There's 3 different versions. They all have an energy density of 200 watt hours per kilogram. They're all capable of 600 kilowatt fast charging, and they're all much cheaper than any batteries being manufactured right now in the United States. Now imagine those are going into EVs, right? In addition to that, those batteries suffer no issues in the cold. So there's not going to be any issues with the media saying, look at this, these EVs are losing so much of their range in cold temperatures. I know this sounds like I'm encouraging China, but I'm not. I'm just making the point that EV sales growth is, I think, going to grow pretty rapidly. And these numbers, we're going to look back and go, remember it was 8.5%? Wow, what a change. We're now at 50%. And I think that's only going to be, 4 or 5 years away in America. Tesla is, of course, the leader. They sold 57,134 vehicles in July. That's growth of 1.2% compared with the same month a year earlier. Part of the reason for these sales growth is surprisingly actually the Cybertruck. Tesla's selling a lot of Cybertrucks. They're selling more Cybertrucks than Ford, Rivian, and GM. They're basically the 3 rivals for the Cybertruck. Put them together, Tesla is selling more Cybertrucks than all of them put together. That's quite incredible. EV registrations jumped for other manufacturers as well. So how many EVs did Ford sell? They were in second place. They actually delivered 9,504. That's growth of 67%. Now, I'm not sure Ford would be happy about that considering how much money they lose on the EVs they sell. But anyway, I think that's a good result. Growth of 67% is, I think, fantastic. Chevrolet sales grew by 25% to 5,901. Still a bit of a disappointing month, though, to be honest, considering Ford sold nearly twice as many vehicles as Chevy did. BMW, they had a really good month. In fact, BMW actually leapfrogged over Hyundai and Kia, and they are sitting in 4th place with 5,483 sales. Now, guys, I'm curious, why are people buying so many BMW EVs? I don't think they're not bad. They're not great, though. Personally, I wouldn't buy a BMW sedan, electric sedan, versus, say, a Lucid, for example, although I guess there is the chance of Lucid going bankrupt, and that maybe that's a consideration people need to consider as well. Anyhow, next, Hyundai. 5,385 deliveries for Hyundai, down 14%. So out of the top manufacturers here, the top car manufacturers, the only one who showed a decline in EV sales, well, the only companies that did were Hyundai, Mercedes, Audi, and Volvo. So Hyundai, Mercedes, Audi, and Volvo. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting that the luxury car brands, but also interesting at the same time to see BMW sales grow by so much. Now, keep in mind, of course, BMW does manufacture EVs in the United States, and some of their EVs do in fact qualify for EV incentives. So like I said, BMW growth up 27%. Now getting down to Kia. Kia have done well as well. Kia growth up 62%. A lot of that is because of the new EV9. The EV9 is not many rivals for the EV9. 7-seat electric SUV. It's a big boxy type car. People like the look of it, like the look of this vehicle. Got decent range, not amazing, but I think it's also very, very well priced in the United States. So 62% growth for Kia. That's a great result. Rivian, also good result for Rivian, up 35% to 4,545 deliveries. That said, Rivian, still a lot of cash burn. Same as Lucid. The key question here is, how long before that becomes a major issue? Nissan, growth, massive growth, up 108%. But the truth is Nissan actually isn't selling that many EVs, only 3,500. Honda, massive growth for Honda, thousands and thousands of percent. But, not really, because they weren't selling any EVs in America in July of last year. None. They didn't sell a single one. So they've gone from 0 to 3,012. So big growth for Honda. Mercedes, 2,775, down 3.2%. Cadillac, though, really good from Cadillac, up 100%. Now, I didn't mention earlier, guys, that actually probably the biggest loser in the US this year when it comes to EV sales is probably the Volkswagen Group, because you've got Volkswagen itself down 34%. You've got Audi down 37%. So Porsche, they're part of the group as well. They're down 51%. I mean, Porsche sales have really gone down big time. Collapse of 51%. Now, the biggest winner here is actually Fisker. Fisker delivered 96 vehicles at bargain prices. Now, I don't know if I'd get one personally. In fact, I wouldn't, but I know I can understand why people have bought them for, incredibly cheap prices, 10 to 15,000 US dollars. Anyway, growth of 860%. Well done to Fisker. Pity that they're bankrupt, right? Thanks for watching.